In other news related to the VA, the agency's healthcare system is now open to thousands of new veterans who can enroll as a result of the PACT Act. But there's no plan for meeting or demand for these services. Perhaps if the department would ditch the DEI crap, then maybe they'd realize that our veterans need help and they'd start using their resources to actually serve them instead of ignore them altogether. Joining us now to discuss is John Byrnes, a senior advisor for Concerned Veterans for America. So let's get this straight, right? Congress passed the PACT Act, and there's no itinerary on when they could have access to appointment times, medical services, medicine. So if this is the case, then where's all the money going?
Well, that's a great question. A big percentage of the homeless population is veterans. It's a great question. Where's the money going? The biggest question I have for the VA is how are you going to take care of all these new tens of hundreds of thousands of veterans that as of last Tuesday, March 5th, due to the PACT Act, are entitled to enroll in VA healthcare. The VA healthcare backlog is beginning again. It's been there in the past. The VA in 2020, 2021 canceled millions of appointments. And at the same time, they won't follow the law as outlined in the VA Mission Act passed in 2018 with some help from Concerned Veterans of America. They won't honor that and issue these same veterans community care. They won't send them out into the community to get care there. And this is causing enormous problems. Just look at the mental health problems. And we have veterans literally committing suicide in VA parking lots because they can't get the help that they need.
Yeah, so I mean, I asked the question again, where is this money going? It's not going to our veterans who need it, who are coughing up you know what because they can't get a proper appointment or even get an x-ray. I mean, it takes months. I had to sit with my boyfriend. He's on the phone for an hour and a half trying to get in touch with like a human just to make an appointment through the VA. It's the worst thing ever. And I went crazy for him. So even as just like a witness, I mean, I can't even take it. I don't know how the veterans do it. So where is the money going? Is it just going back into the staff? And are they just throwing fun little DEI parties while they're on the clock?
Well, first of all, thank your boyfriend for his service on our behalf. Right?
I sure will.
Always good to talk to a fellow veteran, even secondhand. I don't know where the money is going. I do know that the VA has the second largest workforce in the federal service, right? Second only to the Department of Defense. I know historically they have been hugely dedicated to protecting and even expanding that workforce. Most of those employees work in the Veterans Health Administration. So a lot of it's probably going to payrolls. What it's not doing is going out to help veterans get the health care they need. It's not going to provide community care appointments for them. Again, we have these backlogs, especially for things like mental health, which is one of the most tragic ways that you can suffer, and they're not sending veterans to these community care programs. I know here in New York City, where I am tonight, there's a nonprofit, and they have tried to get referrals through the community program for mental health care because they have a great record of helping veterans through it. They've helped some friends of mine, and the VA just won't send veterans to that program or to any other program that I've talked to.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, it's just like, why? So, I mean, what I hear is that they try to max out these budgets, right? So that if you max out the budget, you're able to request more money from the federal government and it goes right back into the VA. Well, you just said it right there. Who is it going to? Probably the staff, probably to their income. And so they need to max out these budgets in order to funnel in more money. But the problem is the money is not going to the 85-year-old with diabetes or the 62-year-old with cancer. I mean, that's the problem here. I don't even want to, yeah, go ahead.
As I say, that's why the VA, you hit the nail on the head again. That's why the VA doesn't want to do community care, right? Because if they send veterans to community care and veterans prefer community care, and many do, like myself, then they have to cut their work staff. And that means a smaller bureaucratic empire for all of the senior executive service. That means lower payrolls. That means fewer managers. Of course, that means cost efficiencies for the American taxpayer. But why should anybody in government care about that?
No, I know, right? I mean, it's like silly. Okay, so this is some other news I just saw. There's the woke officials here at the Department of Veterans Affairs, our fun little DEI squad over there. They're trying to ban, or they attempted to ban, that iconic World War II photo of the couple kissing in Times Square, that big famous kiss that we've seen and we've known and that we've loved. So they're trying to ban it in every office wall at the VA. They claim that it, quote, no longer fits the values of the VA. Ah, okay. So I don't know when they became the arbiter on like values and all that nonsense. But yeah, so they're saying it no longer fits them, and then that move was cut through VA Secretary Dennis McDonough when he found out about it by an internal memo. But this is the kind of craziness we're talking about here. They're so concerned on banning a photo, and then there's a line of veterans outside the door who just want a basic checkup. I mean, John, come on.
Well, again, it just demonstrates that VA officials are not focusing on what they should be focusing on, which is getting veterans like myself, like your boyfriend, timely, quality care, either at the VA, if that's where the veteran wants to go, or out in the community with the VA dollars following the veteran to the community. Instead, there are many, many distractions among the one you named, and many, many others that VA officials are focused on when they should be focused on quality health care for veterans.
They should. Quality health care on veterans. And yeah, I don't know if you had a chance to look at any of these complaints that have been filed on the employee versus employee saga. Have you had a chance to look at that? Just like, I'm just curious to see what are they doing? Are they just sitting there and like watching Bravo and trying to think of drama and like internalize it in their own life? I just don't know what these people do all day. I can't even call them. Like, where are they?
Again, bureaucracy just becomes self-sustaining. It's a self-licking ice cream cone, right? So investing in new offices and suggesting more people working for you is just what every bureaucrat does. As far as the sexual harassment cases go, we've looked at that. It's a very serious thing. It's obviously at the very top of the VA bureaucracy. Among the other laws that we helped pass are the VA Accountability and Whistleblower Protection Act of 2017. The VA has a great record of not following the law. They've ignored that law as much as they've ignored the Mission Act and the Choice Act before it. We are hoping that the House and the Senate will get together and pass what we're calling the Restore Accountability Act at the VA. And fingers crossed it'll go through, but it's just going to, reassert Congress's authority to make these laws. I don't know if it can make the VA actually follow them. It boggles the mind that a federal agency funded by Congress won't listen to the instructions from that Congress.
I would love to just see a standalone bill that goes and only goes to helping our veterans and not throw any omnibus or miscellaneous spending that's going to go help the staff. They're not staff because I don't know what some of them are doing. But if we could do that, that would be fantastic. That's not going to happen though. Yeah.
One of the other bills that we're working to pass, and it's a long slog. Let's say that it's not necessarily a long shot, but it's a long slog to get there, is the Veterans Healthcare Freedom Act. And that would start a test program and eventually lead to every veteran being able to take the VA benefits to whatever doctor he pleases.
I like the sound of that. All right, John Byrnes, thanks for joining me today. This is a very important topic.
Dana, great to be on.